You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
So it's 9/11, 20 years ago today. I was sitting in my office in beautiful Long Beach, California, and my office looked out over the Queen Mary. Beautiful day. I had gotten up early because I always go to work early at that time. I had a contract with a shipping company, international shipping company, and I needed to get to work. So I always got there about 7 a.m. in the morning. Now, normally I don't listen to the radio. I was just driving to work, and when I got into the office, I pulled into the garage, parked my car, went up the elevator to the 14th floor, went into my office, and began working. About 8 a.m., I got a knock on the door. I thought, oh, who lost their key? Who can't get in? Who forgot to get their key and not be able to get into the office? So I went to the door and I opened it up, and there was a police officer standing there. He said, "Sir, are you the only one in the office?" I said, "Yeah, I'm the only one here." He says, "I'm going to have to ask you to leave. We have a bomb threat." And then he told me what happened. I did not know what was going on. So we went down. Everybody went down to the main street. We were all standing there on the main street waiting for this bomb threat to be cleared. The fire department was there. The police department was there. Everybody was there. The FBI was there. We were directly across from the federal building. So as we sat there, we said, I don't know what's going on. And pretty soon people began to tell me the story of what had happened in New York. So instead of going up to my office, I decided, well, I'll just get in the car and go home. And on the way home, I turned on the radio. I did not have a good radio. I mean, this was an old, beat-up old car that I had bought at the police auction because I needed something to get me from my house to Long Beach on a very busy highway that I didn't want my good car beat up. So I tried to find the news, and pretty soon it came. I found KFI radio, and I began listening and listening and listening. Got home, and just as I got home, I turned on CNN, and that was when the second plane went into the building. I stood there in shock, and I thought, what in the world is going on with this world? We are under attack. And then another plane hit the Pentagon, and another one dove into the ground because Americans had taken over the plane from these terrorists, and the terrorists had decided, well, I'll just dive it into the ground. And I thought, and I was concerned, and I was in shock, and I did not know how to really analyze this because it was like watching a movie, watching the screen and participating in real life. And I began getting phone calls and everything else from people telling me what had gone on in New York. It was one of those days that I never thought I would ever live through. Who would ever think that you would be under attack in your own country by terrorists out of Afghanistan? And the day went on. And then the next day, the president came out and said, we need to unite, and we united. We were united. The problem is that the president then sent in troops into Afghanistan, and it became a war that has lasted 20 years. And then ended very badly under a bad decision-making president. But on that day, 20 years ago, I never thought I would ever think that America would be attacked like this, where a building would literally crumble, 2 buildings would literally crumble to the ground, and several thousand people would die because we were under attack. Today we're still under attack. We are literally under attack within. We have individuals who want to destroy our security. They want to destroy our our vision for what a democracy really is all about. They want to destroy the economy. They want to destroy everything that we have worked so hard to build. Your parents before you had worked so hard to build. The individuals back to the beginning of this country had worked so hard to design a constitution that would protect us from tyrants. But 20 years ago was a lesson. A lesson on when a nation becomes weak, a nation can be attacked. When a nation becomes weak, it can destroy itself from within. And we're living through it again. 20 years later, we're living through it again and again and again. We all felt what happened 20 years ago. We were watching it as closely as possible on CNN and all the other news stations. We were watching it one after another, repeat, replay. Over and over again, we saw those planes crash into those buildings. We saw the pillars of dust and debris and smoke rushing forward to hit people and would destroy their lives and their lungs and everything else. But you see, the difference is that the next day we began to unite as a nation, and we became a strong nation again. It wasn't because of what a president said, or what he did, or what congressional people did. It was because we as a people of a great nation knew we had to come together to hold this country and protect this country. Everything from that point on has become so politicalized that there's now a divide in how do we bring a nation together again. And again, I repeat this over and over again. It's not government that's going to bring us together. It is us who will fight to keep this nation strong and healthy and moving forward in life and doing great things. It's the American people. It is not the president. It is not the Congress. It is not DHS. It is not CDC. It's not any of these organizations who is going to make this nation strong again. It's only going to be because of you and me. So on this day, I'm asking you, put this stuff to the side. Put your politics and hate and everything else to the side, and you begin focusing on your fellow Americans. What are their needs? Are they sick? Heal them. Find a way to heal them. It doesn't even matter if they're vaccinated or unvaccinated. Find a way under the healthcare system and the medical system and the science that we have available to us to find a way to help individuals. Don't divide them based on a political virus. That's exactly what countries have done before who have failed when they've tried to control the people of their nation. It's you and I who are going to build this nation again. It's you and I who will take back this nation from those who want to do it harm. It's you and I who will exercise our vote and make a difference in the next election by choosing the people who will be with the people and not with a political party. It is time that we change this. It is you and I who is going to change the voting system so that we have term limits on all of these politicians in Washington, D.C. It is time that we turn these people out who have been there for so long that they have created so much trouble. It's time for them to go. It's you and I, as Americans, who are going to make this country the best country again in this nation. This is a time that you and I stand up as leaders. This is the time that you and I organize and become managers of what we do for this nation. It's time that we get involved in helping other people. It's time that we get involved in our communities, our churches, our schools, and everything else. Parents, stand up for your students. Stand up for them. Do not allow these individuals who have been voted into office think that they are now in control, because they're not. It's you and I who are in control. It's just a very clear fact that you and I can create change in this nation. It's you and I who can work together. It's you and I who we may have very different political beliefs, but we do believe in one thing, and that is coming together as a nation to resolve our issues. You see, the very beginning of this process is that we need to start communicating better with each other. We need to find the common goals that we need to work on together so that we can make our communities better, and our communities become strong, then that makes our nation stronger. It is not politicians that make this nation stronger. They are the ones that make it weaker. So we, you and I, are going to sit down together starting on Monday, and we're going to begin talking about how do we make this country better. And it's not by politicians. So leave out your political beliefs when we start talking on Monday. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a member of the OWL movement. I don't care who you are. Forget about those titles, those classifications. Only focus on the issue that you and I are Americans, and we need to solve some things in our communities, and we need to start right now. And as we do this, we have to go forward with a smile on our face, because we know that we are Americans. Nothing can tear us down because we are Americans. We have an enemy within at the moment who wants to do harm. We can destroy the enemy. We can by working together. You see, there isn't really a need for politicians as long as we have Americans who are willing to speak their mind and speak the truth and stand up for what is right for America and not what is political for America. And that's where we need to change. So you and I, starting on Monday, are going to start changing this country. We are going to start focusing on our education. We're going to start focusing on our policing and community ability to work with the police on certain situations, and bringing in mediators to mediate out situations. We're going to start working on the economy. We're going to start working on doing stuff that is going to build a strong economy and not weaken it. Right now, we have inflation that is going up. We have more bad news on Friday's economic reports that is increasing inflation, which affects us. We have got to speak out more on all this taxation talk and say no more taxes. Live within your budget, just like I have to live within my budget. We have a lot to do, people. We cannot just be sitting here moping around and being angry at people. You and I have a lot to do, so let's do it. But let's do it with a smile on my face and your face. I want to see smiles on your faces. Pull your mask down and show me a smile. If you see me walking down the street and if you're wearing a mask, pull your mask out and show me a smile. Show your neighbor a smile. Because we have forgotten how to smile. Instead, we have our faces masked up. And it's time for us to smile. This is 9/11. This is a day that we pull together and we unite. I love uniting with you. I love talking with you. If you have any suggestions, if you have any bright ideas, I want to hear about it. Send me those bright ideas to mediator@lodge-co.com. Send it to me. Again, that's mediator@lodge-co.com. Send it to me. I want to hear your ideas. And let's talk about it. Let's begin discussing it. What can we do about schools? What can we do about tutoring? What can we do about cleaning up our neighborhoods? What can we do about getting rid of school dictatorships? How can we go about making this change? And let's plan it out. Let's get organized. The more organized we are, the more beauty comes out of our work. So as you're walking down the street, starting today, and if you're wearing that damn old mask, pull it down, and I want you to smile at somebody. That smile is not going to get you COVID, but what that smile will do is say, I am with you. Smile. Smile. It's time that you and I begin to working together. We can do so much for this nation if we just hold hands and we pound out the bad stuff and put in good. Smile.
It's breaking when there are clouds in the sky. You'll get by if you smile through your fear and sorrow. Smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness and hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile, smile, you just smile. Oh, smile, though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking when there are clouds in the sky. You'll get by if you smile through your fear and sorrow. Smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you.
Light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near,
That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile, smile, you just smile. Oh, you just smile.
This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.